Students learned how to save money at Lakeview School.
And human remains found in a Florida airport. Hi, I'm Trent Podscalin.
And I'm Crystal Nutt, and this is your Public Eye News at 4. April 23rd was National Teach Children to Save Money Day, and students at Lakeview School learned how to save their money. Range Bank employees gave a presentation on Tuesday for the 4th and 5th graders. The students were taught how to save their money and the difference between their wants and needs. Different tips and advice were given to students about saving more and spending less. Some of them won piggy banks to help them save. It teaches you the good things about saving money and how the banks keep your money safe and about interest, said 5th grader Riley Carlson. Range Bank also talked to the students about opening savings accounts. And a mother is speaking out about drunk driving after her son was killed while driving drunk 8 months ago. 19-year-old Russell Hill was driving drunk when he crashed into a road sign 8 months ago. Hill's mother, Rachel Siegel, said she arrived home from work and found her husband on the phone with the hospital. He hung up the phone and said their son had passed away after suffering from head frontal damage. Siegel said her son had struggled with drinking before, but that he had a positive outlook on life and had many friends. She said parents have a responsibility to be honest with their children about drinking. In memory of Russell, family and friends released balloons that said happy birthday on Wednesday because it would have been his 20th birthday.
The driver of a tractor-trailer lost control of their vehicle and suffered minor injuries after hitting a guardrail on the Days River Bridge near Gladstone. The accident occurred at 2:30 a.m. on M35. The 51-year-old Gwynn man, according to Gladstone Public Safety, was traveling southbound when he lost control. The truck came to a halt near the Brampton Fire Hall. The trailer was filled with wood chips, which did not spill onto the highway, officials say. The driver sought his own medical treatment, and the accident remains under investigation. According to the National Weather Service, West Michigan's Grand River is receding toward flood stage in Grand Rapids as the area dries out following recent flooding. Late Thursday morning, the Weather Service said the river was last at 18.35 feet, just above its 18-foot flood stage. Flood warnings remain in effect in some parts of West Michigan and mid-Michigan, but the Weather Service says some of those could be downgraded later in the day. The river crested earlier this week at a record high of 21.85 feet, and officials say about 700 residents were evacuated in Kent County, not including the 1,000 evacuated from downtown Grand Rapids' Plaza Towers. As of Wednesday, about 150 people who reside in Kent County were allowed back in their homes.
State police are investigating allegations stating that Warren Mayor James Fouts made threats to someone while using a telephone. According to Lieutenant Michael Shaw, Fouts is under investigation, but that does not necessarily mean the mayor is guilty of anything. Shaw said evidence is being collected and that state police findings will be forwarded to the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office for review. The Associated Press left a message seeking comment from Fouts, a former Warren councilman and retired teacher. Fouts announced in September that his office was cooperating with a federal grand jury looking into the purchase of Detroit suburbs trash trucks. And an inmate will face trial after being accused of a brutal attack at the Marathon County Jail in Wisconsin. 22-year-old Frederick Morris was accused of attacking 2 corrections officers at the jail on March 27th. One guard remains in a coma at the intensive care unit at Spirus Westall Hospital. Morris appeared in court on Wednesday under heavy security and waived his right to a preliminary hearing. According to the Daily Herald Media, more than a dozen law enforcement officers were in the courtroom during Morris's appearance in court. And coming up after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Hope and heartbreak, risk and redemption. Join us for the New York Philharmonic's shimmering new production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel, starring Kelly O'Hara, Nathan Gunn, John Cullum, and Stephanie Blythe. Next time on Live from Lincoln Center. Friday evening at 9 on Public TV 13.
And welcome back. Pieces of what appear to be human skull and teeth have been discovered at a South Florida airport inside a passenger's carry-on bag. The items, according to Broward Sheriff's Office, were discovered Wednesday afternoon at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport when a piece of sealed pottery broke. The pottery also contained rocks and dirt. A second sealed pot remained intact. 2 women who were planning to fly to Baltimore were carrying the pots, and deputies say the women said they visited Cuba earlier in the week and had purchased the pots at a store selling religious items. The 2 unidentified women remained in Florida voluntarily to talk with homicide and crime scene investigators. No charges have been filed. And 5 current and former presidents are in Dallas for the dedication of the brand new George W. Bush Presidential Center. The library contains thousands of artifacts and displays from President Bush's 8 years in office. Susan McGinnis is in Texas with more.
All living American presidents past and present gathered together to honor one of their own. The rare reunion came at the dedication of the new George W. Bush Presidential Center.
There was a time in my life when I wasn't likely to be found at a library, much less found one. And today I'm proud to dedicate this center to the American people.
The center on the SMU campus in Dallas looks back on his 8 years in office. The 9/11 attacks have a prominent place, with a beam from the World Trade Center and the bullhorn President Bush used to rally first responders.
What I know is true about President Bush, and I hope my successor will say about me, is that we love this country and we do our best.
The center holds 43,000 artifacts. The exhibits here examine key events during the Bush presidency, some of them controversial. The displays acknowledge the fact that no weapons of mass destruction were found in Iraq and highlight the debate over interrogation techniques. There's a full-scale replica of the Oval Office, and the center portrays family life in the White House, including the president's beloved dog, Barney. Former First Lady Laura Bush led the design committee.
The entire Bush Center is designed to present the past and engage the future.
The center opens to the public next week. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Dallas.
3 workers were critically burned while cleaning barges in Mobile Bay, Alabama after a spark caused an explosion. The explosion occurred on Wednesday and was not put out until this morning. Coast Guard Lieutenant Mike Clausen said the investigation is continuing, but the spark was likely caused from cleaning the barges. The explosion forced the evacuation of workers from the Carnival Triumph, a cruise ship located across the river. The ship has been docked there for repairs since it broke down in February in the Gulf of Mexico. And a suspicious bag is found in Watertown, Massachusetts. Connections to the bombing that occurred at the Boston Marathon are still to be determined.
When I came home to fire trucks, police cars, FBI, bomb squad.
An intense few days for neighbors in Watertown. Seeing the FBI, local police, and crime scene tape again put them on edge.
I never expected anything like it.
Roland Kira owns Francis Food Mart. It was in his parking lot where a Planet Aid driver emptying donation bins found a suspicious bag.
The driver there, he took picture.
The driver sent pictures to his boss. When Planet Aid regional manager Michael Tambosi saw them, he says he called police.
Like a big firecracker. They had a wick in it. What I saw was